This is Undone by Dale, Imperfect on Purpose. You're going to see this video on International Women's Day, and I've always felt a little bit awkward about International Women's Day from the perspective of a corporate professional in an office environment, because that's been my only real association with International Women's Day. International Women's Day is to recognise the ongoing battle for equality for women all around the world, for just the basics, the opportunity to be yourself, to advocate for yourself, to make choices, to have equal opportunities, to have basic healthcare needs, to have access to finance, to be able to earn a living, get an education. So talking about this in a luxury context obviously is going to feel very fickle and very surface level, but my channel is about fashion and luxury, so I wanted to connect the theme with some general thoughts and connect it to this beautiful new wishlist piece that I have purchased from Canturi. I think one of the things that kind of strikes me about my discomfort regarding International Women's Day is the fact that I should be celebrated for being an ordinary person in my work environment. And this started for me many years ago when a fabulous leader of mine in the workplace nominated me for an award specifically for my industry, which was a male-dominated industry, and my excellence, according to her and her peer group, of me in that industry. And I am sure that my reaction, I know that my reaction to that nomination wasn't exactly what she was hoping for. I said, oh, I'm really uncomfortable with that. I'm happy to go to the function. I'm happy to represent the organisation at that function, but I'm not happy to be nominated for an award just for doing my job and being ordinary. I'm not happy for doing my job in an environment that just happens to have more men than women. I don't think what I'm doing is particularly extraordinary. And I still stand by that. However, if I look back at Dale, all those years ago, and what's still happening in that industry today, I probably was a bit of a pioneer, to be honest, and quite young. But for me, it didn't feel like that. And I certainly didn't want attention to be drawn to me in front of my male colleagues who were doing the same work for the fact that I was a woman. I didn't want to be called out for that. Fast forward to now. Why do I still find International Women's Day an awkward thing in the workplace, in the work environment? Because I don't think that me being a woman has contributed or in any way disadvantaged me in my success. In fact, I think being a woman in many cases has been an advantage, because I have lent into my womanhood. I've lent right into it. I am not trying to be someone I'm not. You often hear in male-dominated environments, well, you've just got to have bigger balls than they do. And women turning into quite masculine, aggressive kind of characters in the workplace. Or the opposite, being so amiable and gentle and being walked all over that other young women look at them and think, is that how we have to behave in the workplace? I don't think either extreme is particularly helpful. At least it's not for me. But being me is, and that's what I wanted to focus on today. The journey of being confident enough to be me. And what I think women, who are watching this channel, and men, like everybody's doing it, right? But it's International Women's Day, so let's focus on the audience. I think it's an ongoing battle, choosing to be you over and over again, especially when choosing to be you creates some discomfort for others. I have spoken in the past about how I have had a friend of mine physically break up with me because my success in life at that time made her feel terrible about her own circumstances. Through nothing that I had overtly done, she just didn't like keeping company with me because of what was happening in her own life. That's tough, right? And that is something that you continue to be challenged by. I'm an alien in a lot of the environments I operate in. An alien being that a lot of people in the environments I'm in don't relate to me. They don't relate to the fact that I am not a mother at 45 years old. They don't relate to me that I have worked all around the place in these male-dominated fields as a professional for most of my life. They don't relate to me that I unapologetically collect and carry all of these luxury handbags that are in my closet. They don't relate to me that I unapologetically embrace colour in showing up as who I am. And sometimes, you know, you can appear confident, but it's hard to have the energy to keep choosing to be you. So I wanted this video to be a little encouragement to find, even if they're little baby steps up that ladder that you have created for yourself around showing up as you, as opposed to morphing, adapting, flexing, being smaller than who you are. So what are the ways that you can do this? I'm going to unbox my beautiful new piece of jewellery at the end of it because it culminates in the journey. I think one thing that I would say from a fashion perspective is choose colour. Choose your colour though. I'm leaning into my chocolate era at the moment and I am quite enjoying it. It really plays up my hair as I've been lightening my hair over the last few years so that the greys blend in a bit better. The chocolate makes the colour of my hair really pop, so I am loving that. But your colour might be pink, it might be purple, whatever colour it is, whatever work environment you're in. I mean, we have women wearing pink high-vis these days, and men, might I just say. We're finding individuality in all sorts of workplaces. People in corporate environments often say, oh, I can't wear colour. You can. You just have to choose how you wear it. There are so many legacy barriers that we haven't tested yet. And what I typically find in my workplace and the people that I meet along the way, the conferences, the networking events that I go to, is that most people are just looking for someone else to kind of lead the way. And as they say, the first follower is the most powerful person. So if you see someone else kind of challenging the norms in your workplace around colour, you do it too. You will be surprised at how powerful the combination of more than one person is in shifting those sorts of cultural changes. The next thing I'd say is think about your accessories. Maybe they're not things that make it into every meeting room, but you carry them to work and you carry them home with you and you might take them out at lunchtime. So your handbag is a prime example of that. Do you find a little playful accessory in your sunglasses? Can you edge up your earrings a little bit? What about your jewellery? Obviously there's a jewellery unboxing on the way here. How about your socks? When I used to work in the male-dominated industrial fields that I worked in, I used to always have this little secret, which was every day I'd wear this funky pair of socks. And I continue that when I head to the sites that I work on. And here's a picture of me. And on my Instagram, if you don't follow me there, go follow me at Undone by Dale, where I will constantly wear fun socks. And in fact, here's a picture of the socks that I was wearing just last week. So you can pick accessories in a really subtle way that will help you to feel a little bit more like you. The next thing, so we've got colour, we've got accessories, is your language. A lot of the time, if you are communicating with people, there's a big difference between making a corporate presentation and relating to people that you work with. Now, there's a trust equation, which is really important for women, because if you're different already, you're already disadvantaged, particularly in a male-dominated work environment. The trust equation is simply the multipliers of reliability, credibility, and it says intimacy, but let's call it vulnerability, where you share pieces about you so people get to know who you are, therefore you're more relatable, and therefore that knowing who you are plus your credibility to get the work done and your reliability to do it is a really powerful combination of factors divided by self-interest. So you need to be really clear that you're working on win-win outcomes, that you're collaborating, not that you're subservient, but you're matching status with your stakeholders. Choosing what to share about yourself is really important. It creates your personal brand, and it's so critical for building trust and your identity. And the final thing I would say is see other people who are doing it, see other people who are struggling, and connect with them. Everybody talks about this obligation to pay back. It's a bit hard to pay back when you don't even have a good handle on your own identity in the workplace. And you can send symbols of your identity through those subtle things like what you share, the colour you wear, your accessories, and how you engage with people. They will create talking points. And can I tell you something from personal experience? You know what I wear, and if you don't, go check out my Instagram. I put my daily outfits of the day. It's what I wear to work. Yes, we're in a business kind of casual environment here, but I've worked in corporates and I've worked in industry. So I've worked all around, and particularly in consulting, I was in and out of all different environments, even uniformed environments. And what I would tell you is, if you are courageous enough to show a little bit of who you are, whether it be through your jewellery, through your colour, through your accessories, through how you communicate with people, people will lean in and they will ask questions. I've had men in very conservative environments say, "Oh, I've noticed that you like to carry nice handbags and shoes." And I'll be like, "Yeah." And they're like, "I'm into watches." I'm like, "Oh, show me what you're wearing now. I don't know much about watches. Tell me about your watch. You know, do you have a collection? Oh, how many do you have? Where do you source them from? What's next on your list?" And everybody's got these secret little signs, little symbols of who they are. And you going first gives them permission to share or connect. And I think that is going to make the world better for everyone, not just women. But keep an eye out for those ladies who are just, on the edges, on the periphery, and invite them to step in, especially if you've already done it first. So, speaking of journeys to finding your identity, this piece from Canturi, Stefano Canturi is an Australian-based Italian jewellery designer, and he's done many special commissions for celebrities, and nearly everything that I wear comes from Canturi. Let me just show you this stack, for example. I absolutely love Canturi. Now, this piece was not, I say it's a wish list piece because I never put it on my wish list because I never allowed myself to think that I might be able to get it. But my very good friend came down. She had a piece that she needed to exchange after her Christmas anniversary gift. It didn't quite go as she planned. And of course, we took the opportunity to have some champagne and a shopping experience. Well, at that shopping experience, I decided why not try on some things because we were there anyway. And I put on my list an emerald. That I love emeralds. This particular piece, and what else was there? A bracelet, I think. No, a necklace. There was a necklace, which is similar to this piece but different. And in the end, it was a really, once it was on me, partially on me, because it didn't fit, I had to get this made. I couldn't say no. And then I heard the story behind it, which is what I want to share with you. In terms of how it connects to this video and the journey. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I'll try and describe it without telling you what it is. A beautiful symbol of freedom, grace, and personal evolution. This ring is a sculptural tribute to transformation, inspired by the gorgeous journey of the certain animal from its emergence in Canada to its awe-inspiring migration to Mexico. This piece embodies resilience and the beauty of becoming. Stefano Canturi spent 18 months meticulously designing and crafting this timeless ring, capturing the delicate yet powerful moment of the critter in full flight. A precious interpretation of metamorphosis. The ring speaks to those who have journeyed through darkness and emerged with renewed light. Handcrafted in Australia in your choice of 18 karat white, gold, yellow gold or rose gold. So I wonder if that gives you a little hint of what's inside this beautiful box. Now, Canturi is known for its cubism design, which is made by using carré cut and baguette diamonds. It's truly unique. I have many pieces. Let me show you this one, if it will focus. Let's cut me out of it. You can see the design just there. All right, no more distractions, Dale. Let's open it. I was able to collect this piece last night with Mr. Addiction by my side. And here we go. We've got the Canturi design also on the little latch here. Are you ready to be dazzled? Wow, it's just stunning. This is the Odyssey butterfly, based off the journey of the monarch butterfly, and it's in rose gold. I got the medium version. There's a larger version than this one. But I tried them both on and I thought this one looked more beautiful on my finger. The goal is, well, the idea is that I'm going to wear it on my pointer finger so it looks like the butterfly has just landed. I'm not sure if I want to put it facing out or, oh yes, facing out. Oh, it's beautiful. There we go. Look at that. Honestly, if I block myself out, you can see the engineering of this piece is just glorious. I'm going to put some cutaways in because I'm worried that it's not focusing properly, but I can wear it with this Canturi stack here. And yeah, I will be wearing this every day and I will wear it to work. Or I can wear it with my wedding stack. So this is the Stella together. I think it looks better on the other hand. Oh my God. Anyway, these are the things that can happen. Bling, bling, bling. I said I'm going to be one of those old ladies that has just diamonds all over my fingers with a big fur coat, and I'll have to set the air conditioning to like 0 to make it work. But wow. Wow. So yeah, I guess my closing statement is choose your own odyssey. Choose your own adventure. Find people who will support you and support others along the way. Find small ways to be more of yourself, to discover your identity through fashion. And don't be a shrinking violet. That's the way that we're all going to get closer to who we are. And if more people can be who they are instead of feeling diminished or trying to be someone that they're not, I think the world will be a better place. So I hope you've enjoyed this little storytelling, tip-giving video on International Women's Day and the reveal of my beautiful Odyssey Monarch butterfly ring that I am so excited by. I'm so glad that you've joined me. Thank you so much for doing so. Share with me your ideas about International Women's Day in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you. Think about subscribing if you'd like to come back for more videos. My Fendi pre-orders are coming soon. I don't think you want to miss those. And I hope to see you in my next one. Until then, ciao.